What is up, everybody? Sejam bem-vindos. Estamos aqui para fazer lesson 44 of ACIT. One more time, we're here. And one more class or one more lesson after this one in our Intermediate 1 course. So we're almost finished with our Intermediate 1 course. Hopefully you've already listened to the audio. If not, you can check the link down below. I will put the link to the audio if I remember. And let's get right to the presentation of lesson 44, shall we? Yes, we shall. So here we go. And my computer is freezing. Can you hear me? There we go. All right. So, a little bit of a computer problem for me. So, lesson 44, I'm teacher Willy, Professor Willy. You can follow me on Instagram at Prof Willy Brasil or the school account at aces.english. So, lesson 44 topics. There are at least 3. There are actually more, but guess what? These are surprises. So, eu não acredito. We're going to talk about how you say eu não acredito. We're going to talk about the difference between another and other. We're going to talk about beautiful and handsome and other things that right now are surprises. All right. So we're going to do our review in our group after. So if we look at sweet and unsweetened. So in the audio, the person said that they're going to drink unsweetened apple juice. So sweet is doce. And in this case, in American English, we don't use the word sweet as a noun. Okay, we don't usually say, I like to eat sweets. It can be used, but it usually isn't used. It's used more in it's used more when we talk about British English. They use sweets as the main noun for things that are sweet. We use more candy or dessert, it's more categorized in 2 different main categories of candy. If it's stuff that basically eats your teeth, or if it's dessert, if it's something that you would usually eat after a meal, then we go more in that direction instead of sweets as a noun. Now, so sweet for us is more of an adjective. We use it much more in American English as an adjective. Unsweetened then is, for example, if you have unsweetened iced tea. So iced tea is tea that can be sun tea. It can be made, in the sun, but it's tea that then you put in with ice, hence the name iced tea. Well, that's crazy. And then you can have unsweetened iced tea, which tastes really bad, I think, or you can have sweetened iced tea. And then, so the difference is we have iced tea, for example, with sugar, iced tea with sweetener, artificial sweetener. So we call adoçante artificial sweetener, or you can have iced tea without any sweetener, either natural like sugar or chemical like artificial sweetener. And then we would say it's unsweetened. So I like to drink, for example, I really do. I like to drink unsweetened orange juice. Here in Brazil, I really like the unsweetened orange juice. So I don't like my orange juice with any extra sugar or sweetener or anything else. I like unsweetened orange juice when I drink orange juice. So unsweetened just then means it doesn't have anything. Not just because we say in Portuguese, we say sem açúcar, but then if it's sem açúcar, you could then put artificial sweetener in it. So unsweetened means without any kind of additional sweetener. So let's talk about bathroom. We have 2 different main terms, which are bathroom and restroom. Technically, if you look technically at the difference between bathroom and restroom, is bath. So bath is like banho, tomar banho, take a bath. So in a bathroom, you can bathe. So the verb of tomar banho, se limpar, na verdade, porque pode ser tomar banho em banheira ou tomar banho de chuveiro, que nós chamamos de take a shower. Both of those are to bathe. And to bathe is a more formal term because we usually say I'm going to take a shower if I'm going to be under the shower head. Or we say I'm going to take a bath if I'm going to sit down and clean myself in a bathtub. So usually we use one or the other. I'm going to take a shower, I'm going to take a bath. But in general, you can use the verb to bathe. So in a bathroom, there is somewhere where you can bathe because that's why it's called bathroom, technically. Okay. So usually houses have bathrooms. Sometimes they have 2 bathrooms. Like my mom's house had 2 bathrooms and a half bath. And a half bath then usually doesn't have somewhere to bathe. Okay, so a half bathroom. So we can already see if you call it a half bathroom, but it doesn't have anywhere to bathe, it should be a restroom, which a restroom then has nowhere to bathe. So it can be, for example, at a restaurant, at a hotel, and usually it's a larger area and it has what we call stalls, the individual areas that people can use that are blocked from view of other people. So those are usually restrooms, whereas we have bathrooms in houses. So today, I mean, that's the technical explanation, but most people don't usually use that. For example, when I go to a restaurant, I don't ask, can I use your restroom? I ask, can I use your bathroom? Sometimes, well, usually, I mean, sometimes if I'm feeling formal, I use restroom because nowadays, bathroom is usually used in a less formal way and restroom a more formal way. To be polite, if I go to someone's house, if I'm invited to someone's house and I don't know them very well, I will ask, may I use your restroom? Because remember, may I is the most formal, most polite way that we can ask. And then restroom is a more formal way. And now at their house, I know that they're probably going to offer me somewhere to use their facilities, to use the bathroom, where it probably has a shower or even a bathtub. But to be more formal, I use restroom. So the reason I have these 2 different groups is because in group 1, you have the technical. Technically, if there is a bathtub or a shower, it's a bathroom. And technically, if it doesn't, it's a restroom. But these days, most people use restroom in a more formal setting, more formal situation, and bathroom in a less formal situation. So, for example, if I were to go to somewhere like Applebee's or somewhere like that isn't super formal, one of those they're not exactly a diner, but they're not exactly a super fancy restaurant, I would probably use bathroom. If I were to go to a 5-star restaurant, I've never been to one, but if I were to go to a 5-star restaurant, I would probably use restroom as a more formal because, everybody has their, at least a tie. Probably many 5-star restaurants require jackets. At least that's what I see in the movies. I don't know because I've never been to one. But I would probably use restroom because it's more of a formal situation. So let's talk about então. Então has 4 different uses. Então itself, usually we say then and so, for that are ao pé da letra, that are word for word. Então are then and so. But there are situations where we use então, where we can also use after and later. So let's talk about after first. After, something happens first. And this is key because in Portuguese, we use after, like, eu vou fazer isso depois. But in Portuguese, eu posso usar after, depois, como se fosse mais tarde, sem ter alguma coisa que vai acontecer antes disso. But in English, it sounds strange if you use after quando não tem alguma coisa antes. So, for example, I'm going to eat. After that, I'll pick you up. Okay, so depois disso, depois de quê? De comer. The example that I like to use, if I'm here teaching, somebody comes in and offers me food, I can say, I'll eat after this class. I'll eat after this class. So what is happening? It's after something's happening in between this class is happening. And I can say I'll eat after, and the person understands that it's this class, after this class. But it sounds strange if I use after and there's nothing that's going to happen between now and then. So if I say, for example, in Portuguese, I could say, vamos para o cinema depois. And we're just talking, and I say, vamos para o cinema depois. That's okay in Portuguese. But if I say, let's go to the movies after, the person will ask, after what? Because in English, there has to be either a stated thing that's going to happen between now and the event, or there has to be an understood thing that's going to happen between now and the event. And it sounds strange if it's not obvious what it is that we're going to do or that's going to happen between the two events. So that's the key with after.
Professor?
Yo.
Quando a gente vai falar só a palavra depois, só.
Uhum.
Muitas vezes a gente fala, por exemplo, o rapaz do restaurante vem, te oferece uma coisa, você vai falar depois, né? Bem mal educadamente, mas
Yes.
falando só depois. Daí você pode usar o after ou tem que usar o later sempre?
Yeah, because it's understood, right? So after what? After I eat what I have, or after, you know what I mean?
Então, é óbvio, entende?
Exactly, that's what I mean. That's what I said. If it's obvious, then that's fine.
Okay.
So after what I'm doing now. So in the example of someone coming into my classroom, then if I say after, they understand that it's after what I'm doing now, which is probably teaching. Yeah. As long as it's obvious, then there's no problem. So second one is later, and later literally means mais tarde. I'll finish my homework later. Okay, so this is what I would say if there isn't anything between. I'll finish my homework later. There doesn't have to be anything that's going to happen between now and the time that I finish my homework. It just means that it's going to be mais tarde. So that's one of those big differences that sounds strange in English if you use after. If I say, for example, I'll finish my homework after, and that's not obvious what I'm doing, then the person says, after what? After what? So later is literally mais tarde. Then we use more, and it's probably the most literal translation of então is then, and it's used in lists or series. So go to the left, then go straight. Go to the left, then go straight ahead for 3 blocks. So it's literally então. Go to the left, então vá reto. Okay, ou vá adiante. So it's then of these 4, then is probably the most commonly used when we have the word então in Portuguese. It's probably the most commonly used. When it's not used is when we have so, and we use so when one thing leads to another. One thing leads to another. Yeah, I know Glassy knows that song. So one thing leads to another. Or in other words, when we have cause and effect. Cause and effect. So this, então this. For example, I'm American, so I speak English. This second thing happens because of this first thing. If this first thing hadn't happened, the second thing wouldn't happen. So eu falo inglês por quê? Porque eu sou americano. A levou a B. So in this example, go to the left, then go straight ahead. Eu não vou virar ou não vou reto por causa que eu fui para a esquerda. É uma série de coisas, onde aqui só acontece a segunda coisa por causa da primeira. Causa e efeito. So cause and effect, I'm American, so I speak English, or whatever leads to that. And it sounds much better if I use so instead of then. It sounds a little bit strange. I mean, it will be understood. I don't know if it's technically wrong, but it sounds much better when you have cause A that leads to effect B if you use so in between those two. Let's talk about hope. So we saw before, I hope so, and I hope not. But there's another very, very commonly used term, which is hopefully. Hopefully, or I hope, or we hope. So for example, hopefully it'll all work out. So I translate hopefully. Hopefully is what would it be? Esperançosamente. Nobody says that in Portuguese. So I translate it as eu espero, ou nós esperamos, which is the same thing as I hope or we hope. So there are two ways you can say that. Hopefully it'll all work out. Nós esperamos que vai dar tudo certo. Or I hope it all works out. Or we hope it all works out. Depending, obviously, the first sentence is in the future. Second sentence is we're talking about present tense. So those are two different ways that you can say it that get you to the same point. Two different ways to say it that will end up giving that idea that you want it to work. You hope that it works. You're on their side. You want to help, maybe, if possible, or maybe not. Maybe just like, I hope it works, but don't call me. Oh, that'd be terrible. Okay, idea. So idea is interesting, and idea is right on the edge. I am working on my video finally of the 15 most mispronounced words by my students, and idea is probably top 20, definitely top 25. I don't know if it's top 15. It might get there because of the Portuguese, which is ideia, then everybody wants to say idea. Or idea is probably the most common mispronunciation that I hear is idea. But as you can see here, it's idea, idea. And the stress syllable is the second syllable, idea. So I have an idea. Tenho uma ideia. I have an idea. Now, if you want to say, now faço ideia, it's not I don't make an idea or I don't do an idea. We say, I have no idea. Or I don't have any idea, but more common, in my experience, more commonly used is I have no idea. Where is he? I have no idea. I don't know. Okay, so I have no idea. Não faço ideia. Do you have any idea what you've done? This is something you can hear in a lot of movies when the bad guy does something, and you're like, do you have any idea what you've done? Do you have any idea what you've done? Você tem uma ideia do que você fez? Do you have any idea of what you've done? Okay, do you have any idea what you've done? So the key here, pronunciation, idea, and this is a very useful expression here, I have no idea. Very useful, very common. Just like in Portuguese, não faço ideia is also very common. Look at me. So this is on my list of vocabulary that American mothers use, American moms use. Look at me. At least my mom did. Look at me right now. Look at me. Look in my eyes. So look at me. I just want to look at some purses. So if you're shopping, and a salesperson comes to you and they say, can I help you? Then you can say, I'm just looking, or I just want to look at some purses. Algumas bolsas, bolsa de mulher. I just want to look at some purses. So the interesting thing here is I'm just looking, there's no at, but if you say what it is that you're looking at, then of course you need at. I just want to look at some purses. I need to look at some shoes. I need to whatever. But if you say what it is, I can say, look at that thing in the air. Look at that airplane. Look at that bird. So if you say what it is, the thing that you want the person to look at, then you need to say at. You need to have the preposition. So it's the same thing that happens with listen. So we have look at me. We also have listen to me. Listen to me. So if I say escutar, then, and I say the thing, I can just say, listen, stop, listen. Okay. If I don't say what it is, I don't need the preposition. But if I say what it is, listen to me, look at me, listen to me, then I need the preposition with both look and listen. And comparing that to when we have the verb ver, I can see my house from here. See doesn't have a preposition. And the same thing with escutar. Ouvir, sorry. Ouvir. So I always hear sirens in our neighborhood. Eu sempre escuto sirene. I should have looked up this word. Sirenes, say whatever. Woo, 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 woo. That thing in our neighborhood. So I always hear them. You don't have to have the preposition with see and hear. You do have to with look and listen. And the interesting thing here is that when we have look, it's something that you're trying to do. And when you have see, it could be, I saw someone walk by, but I wasn't looking, I wasn't trying. So the things, look and listen, that need more effort are the ones that need more effort in the sentence, and you put the preposition. See and hear are things I can hear something. I'm here, I'm teaching, and then all of a sudden I hear something over here. Boom, some loud noise. I heard it, but I wasn't listening to it. I wasn't making an effort to hear it. So in that case, if I'm making an effort, we use listen and then to. And if I'm trying to see something, then I use look and at. I was looking at you. I was looking at you. So I was trying to see you. I saw you. It could be that I was trying to make an effort, but it doesn't have to be. I can't believe it. You're quitting your job? I can't believe it. Or I don't believe it. Very useful expressions. So we would translate these as eu não acredito. But word for word, I can't believe it. Eu não consigo acreditar. I don't believe it. Eu não acredito. But we translate them both as não acredito. I can't believe it. I don't believe it. They're both extremely common. Probably, I would say 55% of the time, probably I can't believe it, and 45, I don't believe it. So it's basically the same thing as far as usage. So another thing that causes another thing that causes a lot of confusion is if we use another or we use other. A lot of problems with another or other. I have another thing to do. Eu tenho outra coisa para fazer. O que eu escuto muito é I have other thing to do. Mas é another. And really, if you look at it, uma, other, coisa, thing, thing, coisa, right? So let's go back. We have another, que é uma, other, que é outra, and thing, coisa. So literally, it's eu tenho uma outra coisa para fazer. Uma outra, singular. So we use another only in the singular. And we don't use other in this situation. If we have plural, eu tenho outras coisas para fazer. I have other things. So we take off and because it's no longer singular. We take off and we leave other and we add the S to the to thing for the plural. I have other things to do. I have other things to do. The exception to another thing is if eu tenho a outra coisa, aquela outra coisa. Eu tenho a outra coisa para fazer. I have the other thing. So we use another if it's uma outra coisa, and we use the other if it's a outra coisa. So I have the other thing to do. Eu tenho a outra coisa para fazer. And then that changes from another to the other. Beautiful versus handsome. He is beautiful. He is not beautiful because she is beautiful. It is beautiful, but he is handsome. He is handsome. We don't use beautiful with men unless we're talking about the pure beauty in a philosophical, in a poetic way. If we're talking poetry or we're talking philosophy or we're talking about he is a beautiful person, but then you're talking about the whole thing and not usually just outer beauty. If we're talking about outer beauty, she is beautiful, it is beautiful, he is handsome. Handsome, even when I did research about this, probably 100, 200 years ago, they used handsome to describe women who had kind of masculine characteristics, like facial characteristics, for example, like a strong jaw, or a bigger forehead. I don't know, but when I looked it up, they talked about the strong jaw, the example that they used. So when women had more masculine characteristics, and you can see this in like Jane Austen books and those kinds of books. You can see she was a handsome woman, which means she had a little bit of masculine characteristics. She was still obviously a woman and still feminine, but had some masculine characteristics that would make them say that she was handsome, beautiful in a little bit more of a masculine way. What's it called? So we've talked about before, what's it called? Como se chama? So if we were to say, for example, I like, there's one store that I really like. Há uma loja que eu realmente gosto. What's it called? Como se chama? Or what's the name of the store? Or what's the store's name? So with things, we usually use the name of the store. What's the name of the restaurant? With people, obviously, what's his name? What's John's last name? Qual é o sobrenome de John? But we can use what's the store's name, the possessive, with the noun. Now, I want some help with this. Who can tell me how I would say, qual é o nome do gato da vizinha da sua mãe? Does anybody courageous enough to try this one? Qual é o nome do gato da vizinha da sua mãe?
Agora, se desapareceu com a frase, eu até poderia... What's the name, né? Não, what's the name of the neighbor... Não, peraí. The mom's neighbor...
Okay, what's the name?
Cat.
Keep going. Okay.
Of...
The name of...
Então, foi o que eu falei, agora eu esqueci. Não, peraí. É a última. Vai indo da última até a...
Very good. You go from last to first. So what's the name of...
Não? Não, eu tinha falado, professor, agora você me confundiu. Você não lembra o que eu falei?
Não.
Não, mas eu só sei a frase em português. Tem que falar em português para
It's still there. Ainda tem a frase, então.
Não, mas não tá lá.
É só fazer novamente.
Tá lá, mas não tá aqui, entende?
Oops, I forgot my... Anybody? Nonato, do you want to help? You'll need to unmute.
My mom's neighbor cat.
What?
Mom's neighbor's cat.
What's the neighborhood cat? No. What's your... Contraído.
What's the name of... So here's what Gracie said. What's the name of my mom's neighbor's cat?
Não, mas tá errado. É o cat. Cat's mom's neighbor.
Okay,
Eu sei que é de trás para frente, né, professor?
It's from back to front. Yes, the first thing is a mãe de quem? É a minha? Mãe de quem? Alguém?
What?
Vizinho.
Your mom.
Sua mãe. É sua. Não é minha mãe.
Nossa, gente, tudo.
Okay, so what's the name of your mom's? So, aí, Glaci falou que tá errado. Mas a coisa é, qual é a coisa que no final está sendo possuída?
É o gato.
É o gato. Então, o cat vai ser a última coisa. A única coisa aqui que não está sendo possuída, se você, claro, o nome, mas o gato, a vizinha não está sendo, tá sendo possuída por quem? Pela mãe. A mãe está sendo possuída pela pessoa. Então, o substantivo que está sendo possuída é a coisa que vai por último. Então, aqui, cat. So, what's the name of... E daí nós vamos de trás para frente. A vizinha, right? Your mom's. So, neighbors. So, neighbors depois de cat, de trás para frente. So, cat, then neighbors e moms. Então, é o gato que está sendo possuído pela vizinha e a vizinha sendo possuída pela mãe. What's the name of your mom's neighbor's cat? That's exactly right. How would you say, qual é o nome da mãe da vizinha do seu gato? eu adoro esse exercício. Qual é o nome da mãe da vizinha do seu gato? Da mãe do vizinho do seu gato. Que também seria o seu vizinho, né? Mas... So it's going to be the same. What's the name of... Agora como é que fica? Depois de what's the name of? I'll underline this because this is going to be the same. What's the name of... Anybody want to take a chance?
Nem em português eu tô conseguindo raciocinar aqui.
So, seu gato tem um vizinho e esse vizinho tem uma mãe que tem nome. Qual é o nome dela? So, in this case, what's the thing that's being possessed? A coisa que não está possuindo nada está sendo possuída.
Ai, meu Deus.
Qual é? Só tem uma coisa que não está sendo possuída.
Um gato, né? Não?
Mas do seu gato indica que o gato está possuindo o quê? O vizinho. O vizinho do gato. Então o gato está possuindo o vizinho.
Ah, tá certo.
E a mãe está possuindo o vizinho ou o vizinho está possuindo a mãe? É a mãe do vizinho. Então o vizinho está possuindo a mãe. Então, como você falou, é trás para frente. So, se for trás para frente, vai ser primeiro
The cats.
the cats.
Neighbors.
Well,
Não,
cat,
mom's
que cat?
Não. Ué?
Cat de quem?
Ah, your. Seu gato.
Your cats.
Cats. Neighbor. Neighbors.
Neighbors, exactly.
Jesus. Você tá adorando, né, o professor?
Yes, I love this. Like I said, I love this exercise.
Deus do céu.
This is one of my favorite exercises. Ok, mas não é sempre que nós vamos ter três coisas, right? A vizinha da sua mãe, your mom's neighbor. O gato do seu vizinho, your neighbor's cat. A coisa para lembrar é que a coisa sendo possuída é sempre última. E causa problemas por causa que o que nós queremos fazer? Queremos colocar o apóstrofo na coisa sendo possuída. Nós queremos colocar mom's neighbor, mas não é neighbor's mom. Mesma coisa cat. Neighbor's cat. Nós queremos colocar cat's neighbor. Não, a coisa sendo possuída que não tem apóstrofo S. E a coisa que está possuindo que sempre tem o apóstrofo S. Quando for substantivo. Oops. All right. Continuing. Drive. Do you drive? Você dirige? I don't drive in the city. She doesn't drive a car, but she drives me crazy. So to drive someone crazy is another very common expression to say, ela me enlouquece. In this case, ela, or he drives me crazy. Stop driving me crazy. Or leave, you're driving me crazy. Very common To drive someone crazy.
No sentido de brabo, professor, ou no sentido
Tá me enlouquecendo.
de amor ou de zangado, assim?
It could be it could be love. Yeah, it's possible. But not in this way, it wouldn't be amor. There would be some kind of something to indicate that I'm crazy in love or something. You know what I mean? Or a ideia de excitar podia ser drives me crazy. That's a possibility. But usually, and it's all context, right? Context will tell us usually if it, like for example, she drives me crazy here. In most cases, it's going to be she frustrates me. She makes me crazy, basically. Do you drive? I drove today. So drive, drove, driven. I drove today. Or I didn't drive today, but I'm going to drive tomorrow. I didn't drive today, but I'm going to drive tomorrow. So talking about driving, we have go that way. Vá reto por ali, ou vá por ali. Go straight that way would be more in the idea of vá reto, specifically reto, ou adiante. And go straight there. Interesting here, go straight that way é vá numa linha ou vá adiante reto. And go straight there significa vá direto para lá. Ou seja, não passe num posto, não passe na casa de sua amiga, vá direto para lá. So we have two different meanings here. We have go straight, I'm telling you in which direction and what way to go. But go straight there, I'm not saying go straight ahead. It could be go left, it could be go right, but go there without going anywhere else. You're going there first before anything else, which is what go straight there means. And then we have go towards, which is go in the direction of. Go towards the store. Vá na direção da loja. Go towards the lake. Vá na direção do lago. Here in Palma, it's very common for people to say. Go towards the east. Vá para o leste, na direção do leste. Go towards and go that way. Jeitos de cumprimentar. So to greet is cumprimentar. So actually in the practice, I'm going to ask, how would you greet someone? If you see someone you know on the street, how would you greet them? Como você ia cumprimentar a pessoa? So how are things? Como vão as coisas? Como andam as coisas? Como vai? What's up? E aí? What are you up to? O que tá pegando would be probably the best translation of what are you up to. Quais são as novidades? It would be another way to translate what are you up to. Você pode repetir? Could or can you say that again? So remember, repeat please is okay for a teacher. I say repeat please. But if you're traveling, repeat please sounds like a teacher. It sounds out of place in a day-to-day situation. So the best thing would be to say, could you say that again? Or can you say that again? Please, always want to say please, remember. Could you repeat slower? Repeat that. Oftentimes we'll say, could you repeat that slower? Or could you repeat that more slowly?
Professor, aí no more slowly, já não está enfatizando o slowly sozinho, que já é mais devagar, porque...
Não é mais. What is
Não,
slowly?
é vagarosamente.
Vagarosamente. Então
Mas
é
para nós,
mais
vagarosamente, dá a impressão de ser bem devagar já, entendeu?
Mas é devagar, mas se você precisar mais devagar do que foi falado, vagarosamente não é mais vagarosamente, ou mais lentamente.
Então é usado esse more na frente mesmo, então.
Absolutely, porque é só
me parece esquisito
lentamente.
olhando, mas não, tudo bem, só queria perguntar.
Yeah. So slower já tem mais junto, mas slowly não tem mais. sair de férias, eles estão saindo de férias. They're leaving on vacation, they're going on vacation. So remember that the preposition that we use for vacation is on, because it's the same preposition that we use when we talk about trips. And we usually think of trips when we think of vacations, although I am going on vacation after this class and I'm going to stay home and work. But normal people go on trips a lot of times when they go on vacation. They're leaving on vacation, they're going on vacation. You can use either one if you want to say literally, estão saindo de férias, they're leaving on vacation. Eles estão indo de férias, they're going on vacation. Até quando? How late? Okay, so how late is it's such an interesting thing here, because how late is what we use, how late, but we literally, what does how late mean? Who can tell me what how late means literally?
O quão tarde, né?
Quão tarde, right? I don't know. I've never heard any Brazilian ever say quão tarde a loja está aberta, right? We say até quando. So até quando, if you translate word for word, is until when, which is possible. Until when is the store open? But I in my experience, 90% of the time I hear how late is the store open? Maybe until what time? So I would say that, so you have until when is a possibility, but I would say of three possibilities, it's the least used. The most used is how late is the store open? The second most used is until what time is the store open? And then until when is the store open is not very commonly used, just like quão tarde isn't very commonly used in Portuguese.
Professor, e quando você fala só até quando? Até quando?
Mm-hmm. Até quando?
Também
So
how
até,
late?
well, no, because how late, that's a good question. How late gives us the idea of a time. Okay, so if you say, for example, because até quando can be a time on your watch, but it can also be até alguma coisa acontecer. Até quando, for example, até quando o Brasil vai ficar numa desgraça? Eu já ouvi isso, né? Não estou falando de nada especificamente, but how long, or how, for example, you wouldn't say until what time, right? Because until what time gives the idea of a time on your watch, horas no relógio. So in that case, that would be until when, literally até quando, until when. It's a very good point. And I hope I don't get demonetized for saying that word. I forgot that that word disgrace in Portuguese can be a, well, no, but you don't know what YouTube does. I mean, YouTube flags those kinds of things, even if we don't think it's that bad a word, but we'll see. All right, that's all, folks. If you're watching us,
não é uma palavra
don't
ruim.
say it, please. Please don't say it, because it is a palavrão in the eyes of many people, and it could
Sério,
be
professor? Desculpa, eu não sabia.
for YouTube. Yes, definitely.
Sério,
Here,
desculpa. Nossa,
that's
não sabia
okay.
mesmo.
It's okay. But you've also said other things that YouTube would probably flag. We've had this conversation before. So if you're following us on YouTube right now, follow me at Prof. Willy Brazil on Instagram. Aces English Online is the channel on YouTube, and our website isn't ready yet, but it will be aces-ingles.com, because our website was hijacked. So that's fantastic. Let's see real fast if there are any comments. If you're following, wow, Rafael's with us today. What's the name of your mom's neighbor's cat? Nice job. What's your mom's neighbor's cat's name? That works too. What's the name of your neighbor's cat's mom? This question is so silly. Yes, that was the idea. Eu perguntei a mãe do gato, putz. She drives me nuts when she drives my car. That wasn't what I said, but that's a good sentence. I could add that as a sentence. Ela me enlouquece quando ela dirige. But I said, mas ela. She qual a diferença entre go towards e head to? So head to gives the idea of your final destination. Head to gives the idea of your final destination. So I'm heading to the store. Eu vou acabar ou terminar a minha viagem na loja ou no supermercado. Às vezes nós usamos store para supermercado também. So that's what head to. Head to is talking more about your final destination, where towards is in the direction of. Maybe I'm heading towards the school, but before that, I'm going to do something else. So if I say I'm going towards the school, if somebody calls me, where are you? I'm heading, and we can say heading towards the school, but maybe something else is going to happen. If I say head to, because remember to, I'm going to the US, so that gives the idea of my final destination. That to changes to the direction I'm going to my final destination. Excellent question, as always, from Rafael. Quão tarde o atrasado? So, yeah. So, in a context of how late are you going to be? Daí seria quão atrasado você vai chegar. Gostei dessa. That's good too. I'll arrive late today. How late? Very good. That's a very good point from Rafael. Hello, Elena. Good to see you. Saudades. Hello, Maria Aparecida. Thanks for coming. All right, that's going to be it for us today. There will be beside me on that side, I will put 2 videos that I know that you're going to like. And if you haven't already subscribed, I will put the subscribe thing for you to click on right in front of my fat face. Until next time, I'm Teacher Willy. Keep studying,